Hello students, in last class we discussed about identification of electrolysis products based on active electrodes. So based on active electrodes, one example we discussed. Next, continuation to that last class, one more example, example 2, aqueous CuCl2 copper. So copper means one act as anode, another one act as cathode. Aqueous CuCl2. First of all, we have to write down ions. What are the possible ions we have to write down? In aqueous CuCl2, whenever current is possible, CuCl2 dissociate as Cu plus 2 and Cl minus. Water also undergo electrolysis, H plus and OH minus. So these are the possible ions. After that, they are asking anode product and cathode product. Here anode is what? Copper. So here you should remember that anode is active electrode. Whenever active electrode is there, active electrode itself involved in the reaction. Therefore, at anode always there is a loss of electrons. 2 electrons lost and converting into Cu plus 2. So always you should remember that whenever active electrode is there, electrode itself involved in the reaction instead of anions. So instead of anions, electrode itself involved in the reaction. Next, cathode. So here cathode also copper. So even though it is an active electrode, it do not participate. Why? At cathode, gaining of electrons. Metal never gain electrons. Therefore, metal never gains electron. Therefore, at cathode, instead of copper, cations involved in the reaction. Out of Cu plus 2 and H plus, which has more deposition tendency? Cu plus 2 has more deposition tendency than H plus. Therefore, at cathode, Cu plus 2 gains 2 electrons and becomes Cu. So, therefore, at anode, copper metal dissolved in the form of Cu plus 2. At cathode, copper is deposits. Therefore, in last class we taught the note. Always you should remember that whenever active electrodes are involved, only anode metal loses electrons, but not cathode metal. So whenever active electrodes are there, only anode metal involves, but not cathode metal. Next, one more example. Example 3. Aqueous CuSO4. So here copper. So how can you identify the products? First of all, what are the ions possible? Cu plus 2, SO4 minus 2, water H plus and OH minus. Now, anode product. Blindly should remember that whenever active electrodes are there, blindly should remember that metal itself involved in the reaction. Therefore, at anode, copper loses 2 electrons converting into Cu plus 2. So, copper loses 2 electrons and becomes Cu plus 2. At cathode, ions are involved. Always you should remember that at cathode, copper metal do not involved. Instead of this, ions are involved. Out of Cu plus 2 and H plus, which has more deposition tendency? Cu plus 2. So, at cathode, it gains 2 electrons and becomes Cu. Next, fourth one. Aqueous AgNO3 silver. Az. So one is anode, another one is cathode. So what are the possible ions? Tell me. So whenever through the aqueous AgNO3 current is possible, what ions are formed? Ag plus, NO3 minus. Through water, H plus and OH minus. So Ag plus and NO3 minus coming from AgNO3. From water, H plus and OH minus. Anode. First of all, checking important. How can you check? Given electrodes are active or inert. Whenever inert electrodes are there, in such case, ions are participated. Here silver is active electrode. Inert electrodes only 2 are there, graphite and platinum. So this silver active electrode. Whenever active electrodes are given, instead of ions, metal itself involved in the reaction because its nature active. So instead of anions, when compared to anions, metal readily loses electron. Its nature, it loses 1 electron and becomes Ag plus. At cathode, so at cathode, even though silver is active, at cathode, silver is not participated. Why? At cathode, always gaining of electrons. When silver gains one electron, it becomes Ag minus. But metal never gains electrons. Hence, this reaction not takes place. Metal never carries negative charge. Instead of this, ions are participating in the reaction. Out of Ag plus and H plus, tell me the order. In last class we taught which has more deposition tendency. Ag plus has more deposition tendency than H plus. Therefore, Ag plus gains one electron and becomes Ag solid. Therefore, silver solid is deposited at cathode. So, like this, we can identify the electrolysis products. So, lastly, one example I will give. Predict the electrolysis products. Aqueous NaCl, platinum and mercury. Predict anyone? So this platinum is anode, this mercury is cathode. So normal procedure. First of all, from the aqueous NaCl, what are the ions possible? Na plus, comma Cl minus. Water, H plus, OH minus. Now at anode. Now check, anode is nth electrode, since platinum is nth electrode. Platinum is nth electrode. Whenever nth electrode is given, this electrode not participate in the reaction. Hence, whenever platinum is given, ions are involved in the reaction. Since platinum is nth electrode, hence anions are at anode, anions are involved. At cathode, cations are involved. Anions are involved in the reaction. Now tell me, in last class we taught, out of Cl minus and OH minus, which has more deposition tendency? Cl minus. Cl minus has more deposition tendency than OH minus. Therefore, at anode, for balancing purpose, I am taking 2 moles of Cl minus. It loses 2 electrons and converting into chlorine gas. Therefore, at anode, chlorine gas is liberated. Coming to cathode. Yet cathode. Here cathode is what? Mercury. Here cathode is mercury. In the presence of mercury, so actual order is what? Out of, at cathode, cations are involved in the reaction. At cathode, cations are involved in the reaction. So actual order is what? Actual order is order of deposition tendency. Actual order of deposition tendency is H plus has more deposition tendency than Na plus. But check here, mercury cathode. In the presence of mercury cathode, in last class we taught it is an exceptional case. It is an exceptional case. In the presence of mercury cathode, order is what? Ulta. Na plus has more deposition tendency than H plus. That you should remember, exceptional case. That is based on the free energy changes, it will comes in higher standard. Whenever mercury cathode is there, out of Na plus and H plus, Na plus has more deposition tendency. Therefore, at cathode, Na plus gains one electron and becomes sodium solid. Therefore, in the presence of mercury cathode, sodium solid is deposited. Again, the formed sodium solid, cathode is mercury. Sodium is highly reactive. It combines with mercury cathode to form sodium amalgam. NaHg. Its name sodium amalgam. So again I am repeating. First of all, sodium metal is deposited on cathode. Cathode is what? Mercury. So sodium metal deposits on cathode. Cathode is mercury. So sodium highly reactive. So directly reacts with mercury to form sodium amalgam. So it is a exceptional case. So this is about electrolysis. Next, importance of electrolysis. What is the use of electrolysis? Theory concept. Importance of electrolysis. Importance of electrolysis. What is the use of electrolysis? With the help of electrolysis, we can identify the products, electrolysis products. We can extract the various elements. Whenever through the acidified water, if current is passed, at cathode hydrogen is liberated, at anode oxygen gas is liberated. Already we discussed in last class. In the extraction of elements, in the extraction of elements like hydrogen, oxygen, these two are from water. By the electrolysis of water, we are getting hydrogen and oxygen. In the extraction of elements like hydrogen, oxygen and chlorine, etc. So whenever water undergo electrolysis, at cathode already we discussed hydrogen gas liberated, at anode oxygen gas liberated. Next, in the extraction of metals, metals also we can extract. In the extraction of metals, so by using electrolysis we can extract the metals. That is also known as electrolytic extraction. So electrolytic extraction means that extraction is based on electrolysis process. In the extraction of metals, like the second point important, like sodium, potassium, magnesium, calcium, aluminium, etc. So these are more reactive metals. These can extract by using electrolysis. Already, for example, whenever through the molten NaCl, another name fused NaCl, both are same. Molten or fused NaCl, molten or fused word is same, nothing but liquid state. So in last class we taught, whenever through the molten NaCl, whenever current is passed, at cathode which metal is formed? Sodium metal is formed. Instead of NaCl, whenever current is passed through magnesium chloride, at cathode which metal is formed? Magnesium. At anode, chlorine. So in last class already we discussed. So these are the metals which are extracted electrolytically. In the extraction of metals like sodium, potassium, magnesium, calcium, aluminum, etc. From there, molten or fused salts. Molten or fused salts. So in textbook, in text one question they given, give the list of metals which are extracted electrolytically. Just you should remember that first group metals, second group metals and third group metals. I remember like that. So in text one question is there. Give the list of metals which are extracted electrolytically. First group sodium, potassium, magnesium. Second group calcium, magnesium, calcium. Third group aluminium. So third one in electroplating. So this electrolysis also used in electroplating. Third one in electroplating. So in electroplating technique also electrolysis is used. What is meant by electroplating is, electroplating is nothing but it is one of the technique. It is one of the process. It is the process. It is the process in which coating of superior metal on the surface of inferior metal. Coating of superior metal on the surface of inferior metal. Coating of superior metals, just for understanding purpose I am considering silver, gold. So these are the superior metals on the surface of inferior metals like copper, nickel, iron, etc. For understanding purpose, I am considering the rolled gold ornaments or 1 gram gold. So rolled gold ornaments means On the surface of copper metal, inside copper metal is there. On the surface of copper metal, gold is deposited. That are nothing but rolled gold ornaments are 1 gram gold. So on the surface of copper metal, gold can be deposited by using electroplating technique. So with the help of electroplating technique is nothing but the process of deposition of superior metal or coating, both are same. So it is the process in which coating or deposition of superior metal, gold is superior metal, on the surface of inferior metal. That process is nothing but electroplating. Next, in refining of metals, in electro refining of metals, in electro refining of metals. So actually it will comes in metallurgy chapter. So with the help of electrolysis, we can purify the metals in electro refining of metals. In general, in electro refining metals, impure metal is, in electro refining of metals, impure metal is taking as anode, pure metal is taking as cathode. So electro refining, it will comes in metallurgy chapter. Electro refining is one of the technique. With the help of that technique, we can purify the metals. So impure metal is taking as anode, pure metal is taking as cathode, and metal salt solution is taking as electrolyte. So this you should remember. Impure metal is anode, pure metal is cathode, metal salt solution is taking as electrolyte. So these are the applications of electrolysis. So this is about electrolysis. So just you should remember that electrolysis means just it is a qualitative analysis. Qualitative analysis means what type of products are formed at anode and cathode. That is qualitative analysis. Once qualitative analysis finished, we can go through quantitative analysis. Quantitative analysis means how much amounts of anode product and cathode products are formed. That is nothing but quantitative analysis. Up to now we discussed about qualitative analysis. Now we can go through quantitative analysis. That means how much amount of anode product is formed, how much amount of cathode product is formed. That quantitative analysis we have to study under the heading of Faraday's laws of electrolysis. Very important for PU and objective exam. So next, Faraday's laws of electrolysis. Very important for PU and objective exam because scientist name Faraday's laws of electrolysis. So with the help of Faraday's laws, we can identify how much amount of anode product and cathode products are formed. Very important. Faraday's laws of electrolysis. Nothing but quantitative analysis. Quantitative analysis. So here there are two Faraday's laws. One is Faraday first law and Faraday second law. Very important. Whenever scientists named concepts will come that are most important. First one, Faraday's first law. Faraday's first law. Faraday first law. Very important, both laws. Faraday first law. So first statement I will write. The amount of the substance. So it is all Faraday's laws. Both Faraday's laws are experimental facts. Two Faraday's laws are there. Both are experimental facts. Faraday's laws are experimental facts. Faraday's laws are experimental facts. So the amount of the substance deposited, or liberated, yet any electrode is directly proportional to the amount of the substance deposited or liberated at any electrode is directly proportional is directly proportional to the quantity of electricity passed. Quantity of electricity passed. So very important statement, important mathematical representation also important. So what is Faraday's first law? The amount of the substance deposited or liberated. Generally, whenever solid substance is there, we have to use the word deposited. For example, it is a anode, it is a cathode connected to the battery. Whenever through the molten NaCl, anode and cathode, current is passed. Sodium metal, sodium is the solid. So the sodium is deposited on cathode. So whenever solid substance is there, we have to use the word deposited. Cl minus migrates towards anode. At that anode, chlorine gas is liberated. The terminology also you should remember. Generally, gases are liberated. Whenever gas is there, we have to use the word liberation. Whenever solid is there, we have to use the word deposition. So when the amount of substance deposited or liberated at any electrode is directly proportional to quantity of electricity passed. Whenever more quantity of electricity passed, Q is nothing but quantity of electricity. Whenever more quantity of electricity is passed, more amount is deposited. Less quantity passed, less amount is deposited. So that is the experimental fact. If you are studying more, you will get more marks. If you are studying less, you will get less marks. Here also, if more quantity of current is passed, more amount is deposited. Less quantity of current is passed, less amount is deposited. So mathematically it is represented as W directly proportional to Q. W stands for amount of the substance deposited or liberated. Q stands for quantity of electricity passed in coulombs. If this W is removed, equating to a proportionality constant. According to mathematics, if proportionality removed means equal to a proportionality constant Z. Z into Q. So this formula is important. W equal to ZQ, where W stands for amount of substance deposited or liberated. Amount of substance deposited or liberated. Q stands for electricity, quantity of electricity. Quantity of electricity passed in coulombs. Q stands for quantity of electricity in coulombs. Z is proportionality constant known as electrochemical equivalent. Electrochemical equivalent. Short form also you should remember, ECE. ECE, electrochemical equivalent, short form ECE. Say it is equation number 1. So this is the formula we are using for problems, W equal to ZQ. But in physics we studied Q equal to I into T. Q stands for current strength in coulombs. But according to physics concept, Q equal to I into T. Q stands for current strength in coulombs. I stands for current strength in amperes. T stands for time in seconds. Whenever current strength in amperes, time must be in seconds. Therefore, from 1, W equal to Z into, in place of Q, you have to substitute IT. So, very important. So, basic formula Q equal to I into T. In place of Q, you have to substitute I into T. So, where I stands for current strength in amperes. Coulombs means Q. Coulomb symbol is Q, ampere symbol I. Current strength in amperes, short form A. Whenever current strength in amperes, time must be in seconds. So whenever amperes is there, time must be in seconds. So basic formulas in physics is studied. Q equal to I into T, W equal to Z into IT. Just I remember like this. Q equal to it, W equal to Z. Just for remembering purpose. Q equal to it, W equal to Z. ZIT, Z. Next, definition of Z, very very important for PUC. One more question it is, definition of Z. Z is nothing but electrochemical equivalent. Definition of Z. Z is nothing but electrochemical equivalent, EC. How can you define Z? We know that since W equal to ZQ, from this only we can define, or W equal to ZIT, ZIT, ZIT. From this we can define. How can you define R? Z is nothing but W by Q. From this how can you define? Condition if Q equal to 1 coulomb. If Q equal to 1 coulomb. Substitute in that formula, then what you will get? Z is equal to W. From this we can define Z. So again I am repeating, W equal to ZQ. Therefore Z is equal to W by Q. Condition if, while defining always we are taking as unit value. Q equal to 1 coulomb. Therefore Z equal to W. From this how can you define? Z is nothing but weight of the substance deposited or liberated at any electrode when 1 coulomb of current is passed. So Z is weight of the substance or amount. Z is weight or amount of the substance deposited or liberated at any electrode when 1 coulomb of current is passed. Therefore, what is the definition of Z? It is the amount of the substance. It is the amount of the substance. Is the amount of the substance. Is the amount of the substance deposited or liberated. Whenever solids are given, we have to use the word deposition. Gases are given liberation. So it is the amount of the substance deposited or liberated when 1 coulomb of current is passed. Or one more alternate definition. We know that W equal to Z into IT. From this also we can define. Or Z is nothing but W by IT. So when, while defining, denominator part should be 1 unit value. When I equal to 1 ampere and T equal to 1 second, substitute in that formula, what you will get? Z is equal to W. From this also we can define Z. From this how can you define Z? Z is the weight or amount of the substance when 1 ampere of current is passed through electrolytic solution for 1 second. So whenever 1 ampere current is passed for 1 second, some amount is deposited. That is nothing but Z. So therefore, from this how can you define? It is the amount of the substance deposited or liberated when, second definition, when 1 ampere of current is the amount of the substance deposited or liberated when 1 ampere of current, when 1 ampere of current is passed through electrolytic solution, passed through electrolytic solution, passed through electrolytic solution for 1 second. So that is the Z. Next, units of Z. Units of Z. So W equal to ZQ or Z is equal to what? W by Q. Weight units grams per Q units. Q is nothing but current strength in coulombs. Don't get confused. So Q is nothing but current strength in coulombs. Symbol C. A is nothing but current strength in amperes. Sorry, I. I is nothing but current strength in amperes. So Q and I both are units for current strength. Q means current strength in coulombs. I means current strength in amperes. So Q means coulombs, gram per coulombs or kg per coulomb. So kg SI unit, coulomb also SI unit. This is the SI unit or one more unit. So anyhow units not important since W equal to ZIT. So just you should remember that Q equal to it, W equal to ZIT. R. Z can be rewritten as W by IT. W is nothing but grams by A is nothing but amperes. T is nothing but seconds. Therefore, gram per ampere seconds. So, gram per ampere seconds. That is the unit of Z. So, gram per ampere second. So, this is the definition of Z. So, this is about Faraday first law. Next, Faraday second law. Faraday second law. Very, very important. So, both are important. Faraday second law. So, what is Faraday's second law means? When statement important. So, both laws are experimental facts. There is no theoretical proof. Faraday's laws are experimental facts. When same quantity of electricity is passed through